Hi everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar. Firstly, thank you very much for taking the time out to join the webinar today. I am very excited to share the content that we have prepared for you today. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Pui. I will be your host for today. I am an onboarding manager here at Amazon, and I work in the Amazon Global Selling team. I have been with Amazon for almost a year now, and my day-to-day activities relate to speaking with sellers like yourself, training them, and basically setting them up for success on Amazon. Before we begin, a few webinar details. Today's webinar will last about 45 minutes, and it is a recorded webinar. We will be covering quite a bit of information in today's webinar, so try your best to absorb the information. If you can't absorb it all, no worries, because we'll send you a link to the recorded webinar and the presentation deck by the end of the week, so you can watch the session as many times as you would like. You can also ask, so this is an interactive webinar, so I would love it if you could ask me a lot of questions. So go ahead to the GoToWebinar control panel on the right and leave me questions throughout the webinar, and I will address them at the end of the webinar. All right, so now you know a little bit about me. Here's something more. When I'm not busy hosting webinars or being an onboarding manager, I am probably shopping. I buy almost everything online, and I love shopping on Amazon. One of the best things about Amazon is that there is an ocean of great things to buy. On the flip side, as a seller, I imagine that is probably one of the toughest things of selling on Amazon as well. Among the ocean of great things to buy, how do you reach the millions of customers and help them to find, discover, and buy your products on Amazon? So enter sponsored products. If you're selling on Amazon and you want to increase the exposure of your products, sponsored products is one of the most powerful Amazon advertising tools a seller can use. It is targeted, and it's really a tool that you can use to put a spotlight on your store. So today we will be discussing everything related to sponsored products. If you are new to sponsored products, no problem, never too late. I will start with an overview of what sponsored products are and how it can help your business. If you're already using sponsored products, even better, because there are several strategies that you can use to optimize the tool. I'm going to be bringing you through strategies such as automatic versus manual campaigns, keyword harvesting, campaign optimization or refinement, and campaign reporting to manage the success of your campaigns. So as I mentioned earlier, sponsored products is one of the most powerful Amazon advertising tools a seller can use to increase exposure to their products and eventually sales. Sponsored products put your products in a range of special ad placements. They are very noticeable, and you have probably seen them while you were browsing the site, either as a buyer or as a seller. So let me show you how it looks on Amazon.com itself. So Amazon.com, and if I were to search for something, so if I were to search for an omelette pan, I will see all these search results. So sponsored products can appear on the right of the first page of the search results, at the bottom of the first page of search results, or if a customer were to click into any of the products, so say I click into this, I will also see sponsored products in the middle of the product detail page of that particular product. So yeah, it's very prime location. Sponsored product placement do vary by category and search terms though. So for example, for some categories, sponsored products will not show on the right panel. This is just an FYI in case you are curious. So sponsored products are also viewable in smartphone or tablet browsers, making your product stand out in any device that your customer is using. And this is an add-on service, so you use your existing seller account for this. No additional fees except sponsored products bid fees. So how can it help your business exactly? We'll go through just that right now. So the primary goal of Amazon sponsored products is to get your items placed on the first page of the search results. Adweek reports that only 30% of Amazon shoppers click past the first page of search results. This means you could be losing up to 70% of potential shopper traffic if your products are not being shown on the first page of search results. Or you can think about it another way. So, example, you're selling your products in a physical store. Being on the first page of the search results is like your products being displayed in the front windows of a store as opposed to being in the back shelves of the store. Your ads are shown to buyers who already have an intention to purchase. The ads are matched with buyers who are entering specific keywords to buy or research on Amazon. So you know that these customers are there to buy and not just to browse. Also, Amazon does not charge you for displaying your ads. That is called an impression. So you get free impressions. We display your ads for free, and you only pay when your ads are clicked. So as you can imagine, prominent ad placement can help increase your traffic and increase your sales. As you use more sponsored products, the visibility of your product increase, which may lead to increased sales. Increased sales will help improve your Amazon sales rank, which will then improve your product's ranking in the Amazon search results. This means that sales generated from sponsored products can actually help to organically move you up the search results, which then in turn translates to even more sales. And with sponsored products, you can measure success. With our reporting analytics, you can measure and optimize your ad spend. You can see for yourself how your keywords fare and the return you get for each dollar spent. I'm going to be talking quite a bit about analytics in this webinar, so you'll really see for yourself how valuable sponsored products reporting is. Next, very quickly, we will review the requirements for using sponsored products. So you can use sponsored products if you have an active professional selling plan, if your products are in a new condition, and your products need to be winning the buy box. This is important. The reason being is if you're not winning the buy box, even if you spend money on sponsored products, you will just be driving traffic to a product page where the incremental visibility will likely benefit the seller owning the buy box rather than yourself, which is why your ads will only show when you're winning the buy box, and you'll only be spending money where there are direct benefits to you. And your products need to be in categories open to sponsored products. So this is the list of categories open to sponsored products. Take a look. But more importantly, most categories are eligible for sponsored products. If you're selling cameras or jewelry, you need to seek approval. If you're selling books, media, or adult products, your products are not eligible to win to be in sponsored products. So this list may change from time to time, so stay updated by checking Seller Central. And setting up a sponsored products campaign is very simple. You want to think about it more generally to begin with. Think about your budget. How much do you want to spend on advertising each month? And then divide that to get a daily budget for yourself. And then you think about how long you want to run the campaign for. Do you want to run it indefinitely with no end date? Or do you want to run it, say, just for the Easter holiday week? Next, you want to select the products that you want to advertise. So firstly, you want to make sure the products are in categories that are actually open to sponsored products, like what we reviewed earlier, and that they are winning the buy box. If they qualify for those conditions, you can consider applying sponsored products on listings in the following situations. So if you have a new brand, it can be difficult to get noticed if you don't put in the effort. Sometimes a great product does not sell simply because not enough buyers see it. Sellers have often used sponsored products to drive glance views to the products and increase sales. It is also helpful in categories with fierce competition. So for example, If you were to search for an iPhone 6, you will get 10 million results. Sponsored products can help your products get noticed amongst those 10 million results. You can consider using it for offers with low glance views. It might just be the help that they need to get more exposure and more sales. Some sellers also combine clearance price with sponsored product campaigns to clear out their inventory. You can use it for seasonal promotions as well. And also for your top buy box offers or your top selling products, you can use it to drive discoverability and sales even more. So what I would advise though is to run sponsored products for all your products. The approach here is to really give each product a chance to succeed. You want to remove selection bias, and when you run sponsored products for all your products, you can use the data and objective observations collected by Amazon on your old campaigns to tailor and refine your new campaigns. There is very good data that you can obtain, and we'll cover this a little bit more in the later part of this webinar. So now we got the three things set up. The next thing that you want to consider is the targeting type. So there are two types of campaigns that you'll come across when setting up your ads within sponsored products. One is automatic targeting and one is manual targeting. The majority of sponsored products users usually have just one type running for their ads. However, it can be beneficial to run both simultaneously, as each have their own individual benefits and bidding strategies. So we'll talk about that in this section. So firstly, just to give you an overview, automatic targeting is where Amazon chooses or identify relevant keywords for you based on your product information, and they will create the ads for you and project them to all possible relevant customer searches. For manual targeting, ads are surfaced based on the keywords that you select. So you choose the keywords that you want, and they will be matched to what customers are searching for on Amazon.com. So automatic campaigns are the most popular amongst sponsored product users. The reason being there's a lot less effort required for the campaigns to run, allowing users to deploy a large volume of ads using Amazon's own ad engine algorithm. But because the automatic campaigns run off product information, note that they will only run properly if your product information is good. So you need to really make sure you have good product information and make it the foundation for your automatic campaigns. Make sure you're optimizing the listings, title, bullet points, product description, and keywords on the back end on Seller Central so that the campaign can leverage that good content. And since Amazon is selecting the keywords automatically, there is less control over what you would have than with manual targeting. But the strategy here is you can start using automatic campaign and bid with a lower cost per click. So you're able to focus on keyword volume. So with this campaign model, you're able to start generating revenue and exposure with very little work. At the same time, or more importantly, it builds the groundwork for keyword harvesting. So the main goal of running automatic campaigns, in my opinion, is to obtain customer search term data. This is data that you should apply to future campaign build-outs. We'll chat about this more later. As I mentioned, there's a lot of information in this webinar. But keyword harvesting is where you identify profitable and high converting keywords that can eventually be moved to a more refined campaign, very likely a manual campaign. But the point here is when you let all your products run on an automatic campaign, you'll be able to observe in the data very good customer search term behavior. So when it comes to manual targeting, they are really structured for you to be choosing the keywords, and they are structured for constant keyword modification. So you can constantly add in new keywords or combine them to add scale in a long tail fashion. So you definitely need to put in more effort and work for manual campaigns, but it works very well the strategy that you can use here to create more refined and targeted ads using information that you mined from automatic campaigns. So you have more control over the keywords. And what you can do is that when keywords start producing a higher sales per click, you can increase the bids on those keywords because you want your ads to always be linked to those keywords. So if those keywords gave you good sales, you want to continue to replicate and amplify the success you have had with those keywords. So it allows you to really build on the information and create very targeted ads that are high converting. So even though they can be costly to manage and a lot of time to maintain, they really are very worth it. And when done correctly, these campaigns can be the most effective advertising tool on Amazon's platform. So we talked about these two campaigns separately, but what I really want to emphasize is that a very sophisticated strategy is to utilize both manual and automatic campaigns simultaneously. So a seller's opportunity for greater ad exposure is really maximized with both types running. So what you can do firstly is to start with automatic targeting campaign. It's easy to get started, and you can start by bidding lower on automatic ads to allow you to optimize the volume of the keywords. After you have let it run for a while, so it can be anything from 1 week to a month, the longer you run, the more accurate the data. You can start doing data harvesting, and you can deep dive into the performance of your campaign. So again, more information on this later. But after you have done your data harvesting, you want to leverage the learnings from the automatic campaign to launch a manual targeting campaign. So as you're doing data harvesting, you would have identified the top performing customer search terms. So you want to use this data because these are the customer search terms that are meeting or exceeding your advertising metric targets. So then you launch your manual targeting campaigns with the high performing keywords. It really creates the additional optimization levers. Then you start to bid more aggressively on those keywords with higher conversion. So if those manual targeting keywords start to create even more sales, you want to bid even more aggressively so that they are always, so you always have impressions on them. So they are always showing to the target audience, and you're always getting sales from those. And you want to optimize your manual and automatic targeting campaigns. So you can run both your manual and automatic targeting campaigns for the same products simultaneously without ever competing against yourself. By doing so, you will continue to find top performing customer search terms in your automatic targeting campaigns. You can also scale your manual targeted campaigns by bidding more aggressively only on the top performing keywords. So this strategy will give you the best of both campaign worlds and help to optimize your keyword volume. So if you are using manual campaigns, you will need to provide your own keywords. Now, if you have used automatic campaigns prior to setting up your manual campaigns, you will have lots of data at hand to choose the best and highest performing keywords. After you have let the automatic campaign run for a while, one of the most useful tools you can use for data for keyword harvesting is the search term report in Seller Central. So the search term report in Seller Central will provide visibility into the actual search terms entered by customers searching on Amazon and the impressions, the clicks, and conversion data for automatic and manual targeting ads. This report contains search terms which generated at least one click on the ad. So it looks something like this. You'll be able to see the search term that you entered. You'll be able to see the number of clicks that are coming through from those search terms. And you'll be able to see how much you spend versus how much sales you are getting. And you can see the orders placed and the product sales within 1 week of a click. So you can, what you can do with this data is that with this, you can identify the high performing customer search terms, right? So if you have search terms that are giving you a lot of sales and a lot of clicks, you probably want to use those search terms again. And if there are search terms with very little click, but you're spending a lot of money, so it's showing up a lot, then you probably want to remove those search terms as well from your keywords. So you want to adjust your bid accordingly to increase or decrease impressions. And this data is extra valuable because it is actual customer data related to your products. So this is exactly what your customers have been searching for to find your products. I think it's very amazing information and data that you can really be using in your analytics and in setting up your sponsored product campaigns. So if you look at your search term reports, I would recommend zooming in on a few data. I think the most telling data would be things like impressions. So impressions is the number of times your ad have been shown. So you can see how many people are actually seeing those ads, or seeing your sponsored product ads. And the next thing you can look at would be clicks. So this is the number of clicks per keyword or search term. You can also look at advertising cost of sales. This is a matrix that I want to talk about later on. But other matrix would be order numbers and also product sales. So all very good data that you want to keep an eye on. Once you have gathered enough data, it's time to select your keywords to build out in your manual campaigns. So again, if for SKUs where you're getting good sales, you want to increase your bid. And I want to remind you that keyword harvesting is a continual process. It is not a one and done. You want to continually run the search term report to pick up new trends. Sometimes you may discover search terms that you never thought would be popular for a certain product. So I have to be honest and say sponsored products it's going to take time, but it really gives you very good results. So do take the time to use all these analytics and tools available to you. So this is the analytics that are available on Sellers Central. If you are interested, there are also other keyword generators that you can use on the web, either for free or at a fee. You can just type in Amazon keyword generator and you'll receive a lot of different websites. So these websites will generate different long tail keywords for you to use as a search term or keywords. So I just type in yoga pants and they showed me the other kinds of yoga pants that are related searches. So I can consider using all these in my keywords or search terms. So these software can be a complementary resource to keyword harvesting, or if you want to cast a wide net. But of course, keyword harvesting will still be more targeted if you're using analytics on Amazon. So for example, the search term report, because it is based on actual customer data. So that's how you get your keywords. And once you get your keywords, you want to continue to work to refine those keywords. So one of it will be match types. Keyword match types allow sellers to fine-tune which customer search terms their ads may be eligible to show against. So for every new keyword you enter, you can indicate if you want broad, phrase, or exact match type. So there's 3 different types of match types. So you see here, like this is where I've indicated that I want the match type to be broad. So the difference between the 3 is, for example, here. So broad will give you an exact match. Will give you the broadest match. So if you were to have boy shoes as a broad match, if someone were to type in boy shoes size 10 or waterproof boy shoes, boys footwear, your product will still show up. On the other hand, if you use boy shoes, it will only show up if a customer types in these phrases exactly. If they type in boy shoes 10, your product will not show up. So this is how much, this allows you to control how much of a buffer you want to give to the keywords. So broad match keywords will give your ads the most or the broadest traffic exposure because it can match loosely to a lot of search terms. Phrase and exact match will restrict the traffic to a more precise target audience. So when choosing a match type, it is recommended that you start with broad match to capture the most information on where your ad performs the best. Then again, review your advertising reports such as your search term reports, to evaluate the performance of your keywords and the match types. Once you have observed which keywords or shopper search terms are performing best, again, you can change your bids to create a more concise group of keywords to optimize your campaign and to reach your goals. So ultimately, your goal is that you only want your ads to appear in front of buyers with the highest intention to buy your products. This is why we will want to increase the bids on manual keywords that are giving you good sales, and also why you want to eventually fine-tune it down to an exact match, so that each time you're spending money on an ad, you are reaching buyers who will buy your products. So another way that you can refine your campaign is using negative keywords. Negative keywords prevent your ads from displaying when a shopper's search matches the negative keywords. So you enter keywords into the negative keyword panel, and if a customer were to type in that, they will not find your product. So the reason why you might want to use it is, for example, you have some search terms that are performing really badly. So they give you a lot of clicks, you're spending a lot of money on them, but they're not giving you the sales. You might want to move them into negative keywords if they're not meeting your advertising goals. The second thing you can use negative keywords for is if you want to refine your targeting to exclude less relevant terms. So you can use negative keywords to avoid your ads being shown alongside less relevant customer search terms, or those that you do not want to have your brand associated with. So I'll give you an example. If you're selling a pure gold necklace, you may want to exclude your ad from the search term gold-plated necklace. So you can use the exact match negative keyword. Or example, you're selling high-end, like really luxury running shoes. You may not want your ad to be shown when a customer search for cheap. So you can use cheap as a negative keyword. So all this can be updated in Seller Central Campaign Manager. So let me know if you don't get to it. I can send through more resources. So now we move into the last section of this webinar. It is managing campaign success. So sponsored products reporting really allows you to directly measure and direct your ad spend. As I mentioned multiple times, sponsored products can be very profitable for you if your campaigns are managed correctly with the right metrics. An important metrics to track, I would definitely say, is advertising cost of sales, which reveals the cost to acquire one customer. So advertising cost of sales is the percent of attributed sales spent on advertising. It is total spend over total sales. So managing advertising cost of sales can help you quickly narrow in on the effectiveness of each campaign. So remember that the lower the advertising cost of sales, the better, because you want to be able to spend less to earn more. So within the sponsored product campaign manager, you want to sort the columns from high to low, and so that you can quickly see which campaigns are not meeting your advertising goals. So you can split them into low performing campaigns, top performing campaigns, manual targeting, and automatic targeting. If your advertising cost of spend is high, so you are spending a lot of money and your ads are being shown a lot, but you're not getting the sales, that means that people are clicking and viewing your product page, but they are not buying anything. So this could be due to incomplete listing, poor product information, or the price is just not attractive enough. So you might want to reconsider those factors before you move forward. Alternatively, if you have a keyword that is generating a lot of traffic, but low sales, you also want to start bidding down on that because it is just not, it's just going to move your advertising cost of sales higher. On the opposite side, if you find a keyword with a low advertising cost of sales, we would usually say a 20 to 25% benchmark. You want to consider raising your bid to increase the clicks and the overall traffic for that search term. So there are different ways for you to really interpret this data and for you to make adjustments according to the data that you have collected. Just make sure to let campaigns run for at least 7 days to a month because you want to get more accurate data out of the campaigns that you're running. So while sponsored products is a powerful advertising tool, each individual seller should make the appropriate calculations to make sure that it is right for their business because it is an investment and the cost can quickly outweigh the sales if it is not monitored closely. So remember that when you are first starting with sponsored products, it pays to have a higher budget as your campaign builds up steam, meaning your sales and your product reviews roll in. You can gradually start to decrease the bids. If you closely monitor and tweak your campaign, have some patience and be a good seller, then eventually you'll notice that your products will start rising in the organic search terms results as well. And you will then be able to reap the full benefits of sponsored products. Sorry, so this is where you can get the advertising reports in Seller Central. So two ways for you to do it, either reports, advertising reports, or if you go into campaign managers, you can view advertising reports as well. All right, so in closing, I want to emphasize that when sponsored product ads are optimized, it is a very powerful tool. Not only will it push your listings to the top of search results, but it can even improve the organic rankings over time. So although sponsored product campaigns may seem simple to use and easy to set up, there are a lot of factors that you need to keep in mind before, during, and after the initial setup. So you should consider, so I didn't mention this during the webinar, but the first thing you should consider is detail page optimization. You want to build good product detail pages with good product information to create a good foundation for your campaigns. And we talked about having different bidding strategies for automatic and manual campaigns. Then we talk about using the data to create, to do keyword harvesting to get more keywords for you. And then you want to continue to refine your campaigns using match types or by adding in negative keywords. And you want to continue to manage your campaign success with advertising cost of sales. And based on the data that you see, you want to adjust the bids that you're putting onto each search term. So we've come to the end of the webinar. I know there was a lot of information to process, so take some time to absorb it all and start leaving me questions. I already see some questions coming in, so I'm going to take the next 2 minutes to just read through them and I'll start answering questions very shortly. All right, everyone, just going to run through some administrative details first. So yes, this webinar was recorded. A lot of information, so I definitely want to provide you with the resource to rewatch the webinar. I will also be sharing some PDF resources if you're new to sponsored products on how to create, set up your sponsored products campaign. We'll also be sharing these presentation slides. So I have a question here on the buy box. Okay, so the buy boxes, it's a concept that you should be aware of. Sorry, let me also show you. Okay, so if you have any questions following this webinar, please feel free to email this email address. But I will also be sending through the resources. Okay, so back to the buy box. The buy box is an important concept for Amazon because we tend to put all our products into one product detail page in order to create a clean buying experience for our customers. But the buy box only matters to you if you're selling products that a lot of different people are selling. So oh shit, where did I stop?
The second question.
Whoops, I realized that I've muted myself accidentally. So I will need to go through the questions again. So one of the questions was how to identify top performing customer search terms. So I have covered that in the keyword harvesting page. The other question The one that I'm not too clear about is, will the more campaign exposure getting lower if we run more campaign at the same time? So I'm assuming you're asking if you are running both automatic and manual campaign at the same time, whether you'll be competing with yourself. The answer is no, you'll be competing with other competitors, and the way the bids work is that you put in a maximum bid, but very often you'll only be paying a little bit more than your competitor. If your advertising report shows nothing, $0 even after 8 days of advertising, what does that mean? So if even after 8 days of advertising, your report shows zero, it does not mean anything. What you need to do is you need to go into the report and see whether you are getting impressions. So if you're not getting impressions, so if your ad is not showing, this means that your bid is too low. So you want to increase the bid, definitely. But if your ad is showing but no one is clicking into it, then you want to think about improving your product. Maybe you can improve your product image. Maybe that is why customers are not clicking in, because they're not feeling attracted, or maybe the price is high. So consider more of your product information if you're getting impressions but not clicks. For new brands with own brand on Amazon, how long would you recommend the initial ad campaign should be? So if you are new, it's really up to you. I would recommend running automatic campaigns constantly on the back end, because you constantly want to be mining information from your automatic campaigns. So I'll recommend doing that and then tailoring that using manual campaigns. But for any campaign that you're running, please try to run it for at least 7 days. If you're worried about the budget or the expenditure, you can set the limits by creating your daily budget cap, or your campaign budget. So that will limit the amount that you spend. But ultimately, leave it for 7 to 14 days without making any changes, so you can really get a clear look at how well your campaign went. What is the right or best daily budget to set? This is up to you. I would recommend setting a larger budget, a higher budget at the start. So as you're running a lot of automatic campaigns, do it with a low bid and start running with a high daily budget. So you're able to harvest a lot of the information from the start. Later on, you can fine tune it. A lot of sellers have achieved success from anything from $10 to $50 on daily budget. Okay, I muted myself while I was explaining the buy box, so I'm going to explain that again. So the buy box is something that is relevant to you. If you're selling products that a lot of other sellers are selling. So on Amazon, we like having a single product detail page. So if a lot of different sellers are selling the same thing, all the offers will show up on one product detail page. So this creates a clean buying experience for the customers. So what it means for you as a seller is that only one person wins the buy box. So the buy box winner here is Patoson, and they won the buy box because they have the best offer. So we usually favor sellers that are on FBA or have the best pricing. There will be other factors as well, but we don't reveal exactly what it is that helps you to win the buy box. So if you're the buy box winner and you have the best offer, when customers click on add to cart, they will be buying directly from you. Other sellers who are not winning the buy box will be shown here. So it will be consolidated all here. So very likely the seller that's making the most sales from this is the buy box winner. So buy box concept is relevant to sponsored products because if you're spending money on some sponsored products, if you're not winning the buy box, you are just directing traffic to a page where probably the buy box winner is benefiting from it more than you are. So we do not make sponsored products eligible for products that are not winning the buy box, because if you're spending money, you should be benefiting from it. Which part of the listings are taken into account to generate keywords in the automatic campaigns? That's a good question. There are different sections that we would consider. Just give me a minute to pull it up. Right, so we will look at title firstly. We will also look at the product description. We will look at product features. We'll look at the brand or the manufacturer. And we'll look at search terms. So search terms are those that are in search terms are the ones that are in Seller Central on your Seller Central page. If you're selling electronics and stuff, we'll also look at things like the manufacturing part number, because that could be an indication of the model number. Yes, so there are different ways for you to find out whether you're winning the buy box. Firstly, if you're going to Seller Central in your manage inventory page, you will be able to see whether you are the buy box winner, and if you're not, you'll be able to see what the lowest price of the buy box winner is in case you want to match that pricing. Alternatively, also if you're adding sponsored products in, you try to add it to a product that you are not winning the buy box, Amazon will give you an error message that says not eligible for buy box for sponsored products because you're not winning the buy box. So you will definitely get a notification about that. So besides Facebook, where else the customer can see the sponsored product? So I would like to clarify, you can actually, you do not see sponsored products on Facebook. You only see them on Amazon.com. So it will be on the right or at the bottom, but everything will be on Amazon.com. So it's most relevant to customers who are browsing on Amazon.com. Is it a good idea to include keywords or different products that are complementary to yours? If you think they are complementaries and accessories, please feel free to do so. You can be a little, you can experiment with the keywords and you can be more creative. The only thing I would warn you about is to avoid using trademarks of other brands, because this would violate the copyright issues. So Amazon listings are directly searchable on Amazon. So if you have Google AdWords, you should be able to link back to Amazon as well. But there isn't something that you can go through Amazon platform to get that done. You'll still need to go through Google AdWords. I think it's really, I have a question about your ad showing up on Yahoo, even though you're not running a campaign. I think that is really strange, but also good for you that you're getting free advertisement. I'm not sure how that shows up at all. Perhaps you have a Yahoo campaign running, but if you're running a sponsored product campaign, it should be limited to Amazon.com. Yes, there are $50 click credits if you sign up for sponsored products for the first time. So you can start spending your $50 to get started and get to know the platform better. So sponsored product campaigns, it will be pretty distinct from other promotions that Amazon is running. So they will always, so you should be able to see my Amazon.com screen. So they will always have a sponsored products, or they will have, we try to keep it as subtle as possible, or we will have sponsored here, but it will be pretty different from something like, say, a top banner here. So the top banner here is it's really by invitation basis. If you're a top brand, we might reach out to you. If you're a high selling brand, it might be something that we offer to you as well, but it'll be a different category from sponsored products. Is 50 cents a click a good number? It's up to you, really. You can, if you're unsure, you can use the default click bits as an indication of how much you should be bidding. But I can't really tell you because it's very different for each category and for each product. So do give it a try. For the first time round, you probably want to set it a little bit lower for automatic campaigns though. Advertising costs, are they deducted from sales income to be paid to sellers? That is a good question. You can actually set it up two different ways if I'm not wrong. I can confirm this in a later email. But you can either have it deducted from your sales on Amazon or from your credit card. So the credit card that you use to pay Amazon for monthly fees. Why are some sponsored products ads achieving better placement even when they have a lower ranking? Do you mean placement on Amazon.com in terms of where it's showing? If so, it depends on the bid amount that they're bidding. Can you target products not buy box? No, if not winning the buy box, then you cannot run sponsored products for those products. So search term reports work if you're using automatic campaigns. If you're not using automatic campaigns to start with, you probably want to get the campaign report instead. But the search term report is really the one that I think is very helpful, which is why I think it's important for you to start with automatic campaigns. So you get the search term reports. If you're using manual campaign, it'll be a different kind of campaign. So there will be restrictions on categories. So how, maybe I can show you how bidding works. So, so I obviously over prepared. I have a lot of information to share with you guys. So, so how sponsored product works is, so a customer will search for a product. So your customer search for products, and you as a seller, if you're running sponsored products, you will select keywords as well. And you need to bid for the keyword. So it's like an auction, basically. So let me show you my screen. There we go. So this is how it looks like. So let's look at an auction in action for sponsored products. So when a buyer searches or browses Amazon for the products, Amazon will find all the sponsored product ads that contain keywords that matches the customer search or browse pages. So a customer search for paper towels. So the platform will pull all the different products that have bid for that keyword. So firstly, Amazon will remove the products that are not winning the buy box. So those products do not win the buy box, so they're not eligible for sponsored products. They are removed. Then the ads are analyzed for relevance. So ads that are determined to not be relevant will be removed from the auction. So for example, the buyer is searching for paper towels. If you have a bid for paper towels when you're actually selling a bag or a scarf, your products will be removed because they are not relevant. And then the remaining ads will be ranked and displayed based on the price per bid. So this seller bid $1 per click, this seller bid 75 cents per click. So it will be ranked according to it. Very likely most of the impressions will be by this seller. Until they hit the budget, then maybe this seller ads will start to show. So that's basically how the bidding works. Relevancy, I'm not too sure about the specific. I know it's based on the categories that your products are in. So if your products are not in the buy box, you can't advertise. And I'm afraid there's no one that you can contact about this. So what you can do is to try to win the buy box by changing your offer or by getting started with FBA. Will our ads display somewhere without keyword search? Sorry, where else would it display? So the sponsored products will have to be matched to what the customer enters as the keywords. So if you're winning the buy box and it's still showing up as not eligible, you should contact Seller Central if you think there could be a bug. Seller support, I mean. I'll also make sure that they are in categories that are actually open to sponsored products. So automatic campaigns will pull from different product information. So product description, product category, keywords. So you will have a lot of keywords for sponsored if you're using automatic campaigns. It's really a very wide net that you will be casting with automatic campaign. Okay, I think I've about answered most of the questions here and we're running out of time. So I'm going to end the webinar here. If you have more questions, please feel free to email me. Happy to answer them. I'll also be sending out more resources on this topic. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. And I hope this was a helpful session to you. Happy selling on Amazon and you have a good day.